Hello, my name's Megan Gorman. I'm here to welcome you to Back to School Night. I'm sorry you couldn't join us, but however, here's our presentation. So I teach 5th grade here at Gravenstein Elementary School. And a little bit about me. So I grew up in Napa and I have two boys, Evan, who is 5, and Benjamin, who is 9. Benjamin loves animals and Evan loves dinosaurs. I have a multiple subject credential with an emphasis in mathematics and science. So those are my two absolute favorite subjects. However, I do love reading and spending time with my family. My most valuable trait I could have for any student is to have that positive attitude. There's a lot we can do, a lot we can make up for, but if they don't have that positive attitude, everything kind of becomes a little bit harder. A little bit about 5th grade. It's academically a little bit more challenging than 4th grade, as you would expect. We put a lot of emphasis on that independence and that responsibility. They are taught organizational skills. They are taught strategies for staying on top and on task. We have a planner that we utilize every day so that they are constantly writing their homework down. We go through a lot of physical changes in 5th grade. We are beginning to see puberty. We've got mood swings. They're suddenly all into clothing. Their hygiene becomes really important for me as the teacher, that they are keeping on top of their hygiene because they start to get that 5th grade funk. Socially, they start to develop more. They start to see those cliques, those secrets, that exclusion. Some groups are all about who likes who and the betrayals and parties and who gets invited and who doesn't. And a lot of curiosity for what comes next in their development. So please be aware of phone calls and internet and TikTok and Instagram and all of those things that can affect our children. Bullying and peer pressure tend to be a little bit more electronic than in your face, as we see. It's really easy to act tough when you don't see the other person drain. Our kids are kind-hearted in general. So if they can see the other person's face and see how what they say affects them, they usually won't say it. But behind a screen, it's really easy to forget about that. Expectations that I have of my class. I expect each student to rise to each occasion. I really do. I expect proper use of the computer. We are constantly using the computer in my classroom, so I expect that they are on task and following directions. All papers are turned in with a first and last name. And writing is a skill we try and do daily. So they have writing for their homework mostly. They have writing in class. There's constantly that writing, and the only way to become a better writer is to practice it. Our curriculum is pretty straightforward. For language arts, we use OpenCourt. So we have a story every week and an assessment every week. If our week is like 3 days or less, then we typically cut the assessment out, but we still read the story. Spelling, we focus more on the word analysis than on the actual spelling of the word. So you'll notice in our spelling homework is on the syllable sort. We are focused on sorting those words, learning about the prefixes and suffixes and things like that. We do novel studies, which expand our current curriculum and celebrate our diversity. So right now we're reading Where the Mountain Meets the Moon. Other books are more based on our curriculum. So we have Blood on the River and One Crazy Summer celebrates diversity as well. So for our math, we use Go Math, and they study the whole numbers. They then move into decimals, fractions, geometry, measurement. Multiplications, hands down, is the biggest tell of whether your student will feel successful in 5th grade math. We constantly are using our multiplication facts, and you can tell when adding and subtracting fractions, you're multiplying. When multiplying and dividing fractions, you're multiplying. So a lot of what we do is based on those multiplication facts. For science, we use Amplify and Mystery Science, so we do a lot of experiments and things like that. We have patterns of earth and sky. Modeling matter is our chemistry. Earth systems studies the earth and those systems. And extras that we do in 5th grade are steelhead in the classroom. So we raise steelhead from eggs and release them into our local watershed. And then we do Lego engineering, where we learn the engineering process, do Lego challenges, and then end building EV3s, which are the Lego robots, and programming them and all that kind of stuff. Social studies, we focus on the History Alive program. utilizing a little bit of our textbook, also throwing a lot of that history alive activities. So right now we're doing landform regions. We then move into Native Americans, early explorers, colonial America, American Revolution, and we do state projects as well. So they get to study the 50 states in 5th grade. They will memorize all 50 states and capitals. What does our typical day look like? We start with that warm up, homework check, and prepare for the day. We try and do this as quickly as possible. Because our enrichment is at 9:15, it kind of cuts into our math time if we start right away. So if you're someone that's typically a little bit later, try to be on time. We review or correct our homework, we take notes, we do a group review, and then they work on their independent practice. In language arts, we will read our weekly story, we do grammar notes, word analysis, vocabulary. It kind of depends on the day. If you look in their binder, you will see different packets. In the afternoon, it's kind of just whatever's left over from math, because that's not enough time, science or social studies or PE, or we just do makeup work. It kind of all depends on the day. All right, so grading in 5th grade. They are receiving letter grades in 5th grade. I know they received them in 4th grade. And it's a typical scale, so A, B, C, D, and F. We do not have GPA or honor roll in 5th grade. We save that for 6th grade. So how I weight my subjects is 50% based on assignments we do in class or our homework, and the other 50% are on assessments and projects. Homework, I'm sure you have seen, math is due the next day. If we have a math lesson, we have math homework. So if they have an assessment, they do not have math homework, but if there's a math lesson that I teach, they typically will have math homework. Language arts is a packet that is due every Friday. It is assigned daily, but I don't collect the packet until Friday. They should be reading about 20 minutes a day, but I have nothing to record that. It's just known. They should be reading 20 minutes a day. Science and social studies, every once in a while, especially if we're in the middle of a project, we'll get assigned if they're kind of behind in class. And then anything that's unfinished, right now I'm not quite doing this, but later on in the year, any work that they are not able to finish in class will start becoming homework. So what do we do if our child is sick? Please keep them home. Email both myself and the office that they are ill, and they have all of their, if they're in my language arts class, they have all of their daily or weekly packets in their binders. So that way they can just open up their binder, pull out that, if they are sick on Wednesday, pull out the Wednesday packet and at least work on some of that work. There is also a daily agenda online, and I will show you guys that in a second. School policy is that upon their return, that child has the same number of days missed to make up that work. Independent study. So in a packet that you will get that's coming home, you will see an independent study packet. It's much simpler now, but I will go over that process in a second. They basically are still just going to follow that daily agenda that's on the website. For that independent study, if you're interested in doing one, all you have to do is download the independent packet from the website. I don't think it's on there, but I gave you one in all of the papers on their desk, and fill out the student information part. Have your student and their guardian, mom, dad, grandma, whomever, sign the signature page and then send it to me. You can email it to me or you can send it with the student. That way, once I get it, I can start accessing everything. Let me know if you have access to the internet, because my agenda for the independent study is all online. You can also just get a blank copy from the office. What it looks like. So they're asked to follow along on the weekly agenda for the day or days that they're going to be missing. To qualify, they have to do the math, the language arts, PE, and science or social studies, depending on the day. I know this is really fast. I'm so sorry. If there's internet or if there's no internet access, students will be given worksheets to complete. So make sure that you just let me know that there's internet or not. So here's what the weekly agenda looks like. If you click on it, it'll take you to the website. And right here we have our current week. So if I click on our current week, here's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So if I was absent on Wednesday, I would see here's that math video, here's their math assignment, and all of these are clickable. Sometimes there aren't IXLs to look for, so they just have to look for the ones that are starred, and if those are complete, they're done. Moving on to language arts, here's the language arts assignment, here's the afternoon assignment, and then here's their homework. So that's what every day looks like on the website. If it's not Wednesday, it's Tuesday, and so on and so forth. All right, go back. Perfect. The enrichment schedule for this month is first trimester. We have Spanish, We have choir or band on Tuesday. We have Spanish with Maestra Kim on Wednesday. And Mr. Science at Band and Choir on Thursday and Friday. We follow up with Coach Page. So our GPA is our Gravenstein Parent Association, and they do amazing things. They fund all of our enrichments. They do teacher grants. So the reason why we even have EV3s in the classroom, all is thanks to GPA. And they purchased all of the Mountain Meet the Moon books for us, our Legos, and things like that. So they allow us to do teacher grants. They organize fundraisers for us, and so much more. So what they are asking is about $95 per child for a monthly donation. You can make payments online, which for me, that was part of the biggest hardship of just like getting a check. So you can actually go online and just pay right online, wearegpa.com. You can make monthly or a single donation. It doesn't have to be $95. Anything helps. So how you can help. Outside right now, there's a parent sign up or family email, so you can keep GPA informed. Actually, GPA as a school, we aren't allowed to give them your email. So the only way that you're going to get information from GPA is if you sign up through them, allowing them to have your email. You can get involved with their monthly meetings as well. So field trips in 5th grade. We do a 3 field trip series called From Forest to Sea, and that's Armstrong Woods, Willow Creek, and then the tide pools. And we do that kind of in tangent to our steelhead in the classroom, which kind of follows that the steelhead are raised kind of in those forest ecosystems and travel the creeks out to the ocean. We do a science fair connection with the Exploratorium, and that one's about $15. We do a curriculum connection to Muir Woods or Warm Springs Dam. We have a weekend field trip. Right now, our main one is the Lego Robotics Challenge. If they're willing to compete, it's usually about $15. And then Steelhead Fish Release. We're going to try and do that one with our overnight, so we don't know if that'll be on the weekend or not. One late night field trip we do is to Sugarloaf, and another late night one is to Balclutha. Our overnight field trip in 5th grade is to Westminster Woods. It's a 4-day, 3-night, and it's our most expensive one at $400. So our overall cost of field trips this year are $400 and $498. Okay. If you are interested in becoming a driver, fill out the driver volunteer form. You have to have a clear TB test. Parents are still required to either be vaccinated or come in and do a rapid antigen test the day of the trip. They are also apparently needing to be fingerprinted, so that's a new one. If you're interested in overnight, you need to also be fingerprinted. And because our overnight is with Westminster Woods, I'm unsure about the vaccination requirements at the time because they had their own requirements to their own COVID regulations. We are only able to bring 10 chaperones, so please keep that in mind. We're not trying to be picking and choosing, but we can only bring 10 total for all of 5th grade. The things that are good to know. Every Friday, you will see a printout that looks like this. It shows their weekly work. You can see it has the scores that they've achieved on those assignments or anything that's missing or how well they did or how well they did not do. The class website, again, has that weekly agenda. It has some helpful links, has long-term project information. My plan is to also put on there a link to an independent study, but so far that's not online. So some online resources that we have are school-wise. There's the math textbook and there's Parent Square. Honestly, Parent Square is going to be the main way to access any of the information that I send out. It's where I send out my newsletter. It's where I send out parent conferences. It's where I ask for volunteers for drivers. So if you are not on Parent Square yet, it's really easy to sign up. I'm pretty sure you just have to let the office know what your email is, or if you let me know what your email is, I think I can enter it into Parent Square. So please establish good routines for your students. You want to make sure they have plenty of snacks. Those snacks fuel the brain. Make sure they're healthy snacks and not just junk food. You need to have good hygiene, brushing their teeth, some natural deodorant, taking showers daily, especially when it gets hot like this. They need to have clean bodies. 9 to 11 hours is recommended for this age group and screens off an hour before bed. If you guys have any questions, you can use the Parent Square app to message me, or you can email me at mgorman@grab.k12.ca.us. That is all. Have a wonderful evening. And again, if you have any questions, please just contact me.